Hey guys, just finished watching Jessica Jones Season 2, Episode 5, aka The Octopus. This episode was interesting. It was a bit of a slower episode as things go on. Not really too much happens, although the ending is quite interesting to see where things going to go with that. But if we start off, the first part we see Jessica looks like she's in Supermax, or at least a solitary prison type thing. Just punching it and stuff, and she's almost sent to Supermax type thing, which is interesting because last season she wanted to get in, and now she's in there. She doesn't want to be in there. And then we find that the wig lady there, strong lady, ends up burning all the files that she stole from Jessica on IGH. And later on, she even breaks her piano. She burns all the stuff. But it's interesting to see because I can't tell. I feel like this lady, she's probably obviously an experiment from IGH, but like, is she kind of a bad person in this idea, or is she just kind of scared of everything, and she's trying to cover all the tracks so that nothing gets led back to her? So I think that's interesting to see how things are playing on. And then we get to see, it's pretty interesting to see how that continues on. And then we see Trish is sick from the puffer, and her mother's there helping her out. Jessica gets out of prison. Hogarth helps get her out. And then the detectives kind of find out some files and stuff, some images that suspect that point to direction that someone else might be the killer rather than Jessica, because they get the file, the one other woman kind of jumping away, the pictures of the other woman jumping away. And then the detective, Eddie Costa, tells Jessica he's on her side. He thanks her for killing Kilgrave because he was there during the season 1 when everyone was pointing their guns at their heads, under Kilgrave's slave control. So, and he kind of, ever since, he had nightmares all the way until Jessica killed Kilgrave. So it's interesting with that idea, how they're playing with that, and how he's kind of on her side with that. It's gonna be cool to see that. And so far in this show, every cop that she's come close to has died at the end of it. I mean, first you had Simpson died recently in this season. Then you had the other guy, I can't think of his name, but who Simpson actually killed in the first season. And he was kind of Clemens. He was shot by Simpson. So yeah, every cop really kind of dies. So we're gonna have to wait and see if this one ends up making it throughout this season or not. Although the other cop over on Daredevil, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Who also was in Jessica Jones season 2, Brett Mahoney. He hasn't died yet. He's been in a few of these shows, so maybe he'll be involved too. Because if this is the same precinct as where Kilgrave made everyone go crazy, and Brett was there doing that, he did have the gun to everyone. Maybe it'd be cool to see him involved too. Maybe at the end when they kind of arrest everyone. Who knows? It would be quite cool to see that. If I'm not mistaken, Brett Mahoney should be raised up after the events of Daredevil season 1. He was kind of he should have been promoted because he was one of the few people left in the Hell's Kitchen Police Department who wasn't corrupt like by Fisk. So it was really cool. Hopefully we can get something with that. And then we get Green trying to leave. She tries to sell Malcolm's TV and stuff, and doesn't work out. Malcolm threatens to post her location online in order to keep her around, and he ends up leaving her with Jerry Hogarth, who wants to kind of talk to her about all the IGH experiments so that she can get something for her ALS. And I think that's going to be cool to see how things play off with that. How's that going to get involved with things? How is Jerry going to let that? How much is Jerry going to willing to go with this? Is it going to block some stuff, or how things are going to go? I think it's going to be fun to see where things go with that. Then we get Griffin proposing to Trish, so I guess saying that all the secret USB stuff and the phone calls were all to propose to make this elaborate proposal for Trish. And then Trish ends up saying no to that. Which is interesting with that, and you kind of seeing Jessica during the proposal. Jessica found it interesting to see that, and she never talks to anyone or how she feels about it. But clearly, Jessica kind of was either one, envious of that, two, she's sad in some sort of way where she's not sure. I guess she was either afraid of Trish, moving on with her life and cutting Jessica out, which I don't ever see Trish doing that. And then the other idea is maybe she's envious of that idea of that perfect life that Trish almost had type thing. So it's interesting to see how things go with that. And at this point, Jessica doesn't know that Trish said no. So maybe it will be cool to see how she reacts to that, and what she thinks of Griffin. I mean, she did look into his past, like she said earlier on. So who knows what her opinion is going to be on that situation with there. And then we see Jessica goes to see David in the mental hospital. Tries to get some information from him, and all she gets is Dr. Carl, who is Octopus just like him. So she goes to the Octopus place, and she finds him. Then we also find out that Trish is getting addicted to the nuke puffs that Simpson have. Like I said with that, hopefully we can get an explanation to how many does this machine have? Is this thing making unlimited stuff? We get it nice. We get an explanation. How many are left? How many did Simpson use? How many did whatever? Is it, how often do you need to replace these, and how did she get more? I mean, now that she's using this, she used it once and it kind of left her real sick last episode, and now she's getting addicted to it. Now she's using it when she doesn't need to because all her problems are going away, and the side effects of that are just making her crazy. So it's going to be cool to see how things get finished off with that. And I really hope they don't kill off Trish Walker through this path. Now maybe sending her to rehab could work. I don't know. It's interesting to see where things go with this and how is it going to affect her going on. Now maybe this could be a tiny, very slow progression towards the inevitable Hellcat costume and superheroism that she's looking for, that she has in the comics. Now, I'm not sure, I don't know anything about Hellcat at all from the comics, but it definitely gets me excited to try and look into that now after this show, after I finish this show, to look into that, her story and how she becomes Hellcat in the comics, because maybe they're doing this, that, she takes this puffer, gets addicted to this puffer, uses it so many times that it has some sort of effect on her, and it gives her some sort of powers that become permanent, and then she can become her own version, her own superhero, Hellcat. I think that could be a cool idea. We'll have to wait and see where things go with that. I think that would be a really cool idea to see come out of this thing. But so far, this puffer seems a very, very detriment to herself, and really kind of a negative effect, for a more negative effect than they are positive to this. So, and like Simpson said for the first season, is when he took the pills, he needed another one to come down. So maybe there's something else. She only has half of the thing, and that she needs something to counteract it to kind of bring her down, and she doesn't have that. Maybe that's why she's having such bad reactions to it. There's probably something else that the Simpson went through that allowed him to do all this stuff. So it would be cool to see where things come from that. And if this is, this nuke puffer, her addicted to it, is a slow connection to that, giving her a small path to the her becoming a superhero. I feel like this is a really small path of the long journey that she has ahead of her. So I don't see her becoming a superhero until later on. Definitely not by the end of this season. We'll have to wait and see how long this affects her and where things fall out from here. But it would be cool if this is a very, very beginnings of her on the path to becoming a superhero. Maybe there could be something out of this. She gets addicted to this stuff, and the IGH gets a hold of her, gives her some powers, or someone else gets a hold of her, and she winds out with powers at the end of it. So hopefully this could be that, but like I said, it's probably a way long away before that comes out. So it is interesting with that. And then, like I said, Jessica finds Dr. Carl, and when she sees him, she has flashbacks of him, starts remembering him from the experiments that he did on her. And then Alicia Jones, who's the girl with the wig, smashed up the piano, stole the files from Jessica. At least that's what they said. Her name is here on IMDb. I don't remember heard them ever saying that. So hopefully it's not something that gets revealed later on, that all this IMDb is spoiled for me because they're putting it in here. They list her name as that for episode 5. So it would be cool to see who else, what other happens with that. So it's really going to be fun to see how that ends. Maybe, Jessica holding up the glass. How is she going to do that, saving people? Or is she going to grab a couple of people and just fly out of there? I think that could be cool to see her fly a little bit, especially while she's carrying a couple of people. So that'll be fun to see that in episode 6. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys, about this episode, season 2, episode 5 of Jessica Jones, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
To talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.